I think it's recording. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Mistakes Were Made, Samantha.
And Mason.
And you know it's not gonna be a Rycon Topany if we don't have shit to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's tell everybody why it is we're doing this little impromptu chitter chat.
Okay. When we recorded the Korean Boys Love like catch up that we did with To My Star, Wish You, and Color Rush, we didn't like rename ourselves, so we had like our full name and last name, and we both felt a little bit uncomfortable posting that, so we wanted to refilm it just like with our channel names, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and trust me guys, as much as we like you, we know there's some weirdos out there who would really do the snooping, so this was the best option for everybody.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that we can't talk, and we got plenty of shit to talk about. Not really, but we're just gonna make it up on the fly, and it's gonna be brilliant because we are pros at improv. We should take a whole class on it.
Should take one or give one?
Both. We're amazing at it. We could audit the class, we could teach the class, we could do it all. We're great.
Cool.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, because it's been weighing heavy on my spirit and I see a lot of people talking about it. Let's talk about the people who run Twitter Boys Love accounts. So I don't know if the rest of y'all out there do the same thing that I do. I follow a couple of like Boys Love update accounts so I can figure out like what's playing when and who's doing what. And there's a lot of chat in the streets that some of these people who run these accounts need to kind of get their head out of their ass and stick to the script.
What? I feel like I stopped paying attention to them. I think I just go past them now.
I pay attention to them only because I'm always looking to see what the content is going to be for our channel. I'm like, okay, what's the latest thing that everybody's watching that we need to be watching so we can kind of keep up? Because like real talk, there's at least 50 different shows premiering every month.
Too many. Especially
now that the Philippines have started filming a lot, it seems like everybody else is trying to keep up with the volume. So like Taiwan's giving you multiple shows right now. China's got another bromance that they're filming, or it's airing right now. I think it's called Word of Honor. And then of course, Thailand's got plenty of stuff. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll subscribe to one of these Twitter accounts that keeps up with Boys Love to try to figure out like, okay, what is getting the buzz? What's getting the most retweets, likes? So I'll know what makes for the best content for here. But I don't know. I feel like when you position your account as being one of those types of accounts where like, come here for the updates, we got all the news, we know everything. When you start like retweeting about your favorite actor, or you start like obsessing over a show and retweeting a lot about a show, it kind of is distracting because you yourself have placed yourself as being the authority or the news information place. And like, I'm sorry, if I was watching MSNBC and Domlin was like, oh, by the way, let me tell you about my most favorite politician ever, and I had followed them on Twitter and today they had a bagel, I'd be like, okay, but I'm here for the news, friend. So I really hope that some of these accounts can kind of like lessen their personal opinion, even though, I mean, I do realize that these are like just regular people and they're not getting paid to do this stuff, but some of them do get access to like different production companies reach out to them to let them know things are coming. I know that I think Gaga Olala gives them free passes to give out as giveaways. So like they do get something in return for doing this. So I feel like they should be a little bit more neutral. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Next, Mason.
Sam.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
If you had to give a top 5 of your favorite scenes from different Boys Loves, tell me what your top 5 are. Scenes, not characters or anything, but just like a moment in show you're like, that's the one right there.
Um,
We're brilliant in improv, guys.
you asked me I have to think about it. I've never thought about it. I don't know. I think maybe something with Xiaoting and Yushigu for sure. I don't know what. Maybe like I think it's like episode 5 where they have like their first like official date and they're sitting under the stars and they're having like a little picnic or whatever. That was really cute.
That's a good one. I thought you were gonna say the moment when they were on the couch and then the parents walked in, because right before the parents walked in, everything was great.
No, but I felt like you were gonna pick that.
Well, you know what my favorite scene from history is?
Yeah, episode 6, top of episode 6.
I really like the scene from My Engineer where Tale and Perth finally confess to each other in the tent.
Mm.
I really like that scene a lot, even though I feel like your favorite scene from My Engineer is when they were in the gazebo and he put the flower in Perth's hair.
That was so cute. I like that scene. Ooh, the scene where like in I Told Sunset About You, where they like, what was it, episode 3 or something, where they like get together for the first time, like officially, and then he's like, no, I don't want this gay shit. And you're like, what the fuck? That
Oh
scene.
yeah. I remember sending that to you and being like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be watching this.
Oh man, I'm so excited for the sequel. I hope it's good. I just hope it's good.
I hope so too. I mean, they finished filming, but they have a different director. And, you know, I'd like to think that the director is not the make or break of a show, because a lot of it does fall on the actors. But there's so much like cinematography wise that really made that show. And I don't know if that's because the director told him that's what he wanted, or if it's because they had a really brilliant cinematographer.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I think it was definitely very well directed. So it makes me worried too.
But I cannot wait. I every once in a while will see Billiken come up on my feed, and I'm just like, he's a really handsome guy. Like, real talk, his face is made for movies.
Yeah.
I don't see as much about PP Crit, which is sad because he was my favorite in the show.
Oh, is he doing less than Bilkin right now?
I don't think that he's doing less. I just think that his fandom is not as big. And I'm not sure why. I think it might be the singing, but I don't know. But I see Billiken a lot. I don't really see as much of PP Crit. And then I see a lot of like them together whenever I see. Yeah. But yeah, I love him. Speaking of our favorite people in Boys Love, do you follow Earth on TikTok?
No, I don't think I follow any of them on TikTok.
Okay, I follow Earth/Kuhart on TikTok because him and his, I don't know what that relationship is. Him and his friend who's a boy do a lot of dancing on TikTok. Yes. Okay. And he has all of the taste in the world. I love watching him because he like reaches into like all of these different kinds of genres of music. Like, he doesn't just do K-pop, he doesn't just do Western music, he doesn't just do Thai music, but like the music that he picks like new K-pop, and then he reaches deep down in that second gen bag and pulls out those good oldies, and it's just like, I can't wait to see what you're gonna dance to next. I love everything you do.
What's the best good oldie he pulled out?
I really liked when him and his friend who's a boy did the cover for Troublemaker.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. I
think I saw that on Instagram, actually.
I think he reposts all of his TikToks to Instagram.
Oh, okay. I feel like I saw that.
Yeah, but he's really good. I love watching him. He's so much fun. I love watching him dance. The boy that he dances with, the kid's name is Santa. Which, I mean, you know, They have interesting names in Thailand. So, Gun, Earth, Santa. But the kid is like 17, and I want to say that Earth is like 23, maybe.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a little, but they haven't done anything like I've never seen them kiss on the TikTok. I've never seen them do anything super graphic. It's just a lot of like eggio and like coupley things that they do on TikTok.
Okay.
Also, Sammy and Yacht are dating.
Yad?
Yeah, from Love by Chance.
Is was that, I feel like she posted a video of like her running up next to some boy recently. Was that him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I feel because like I liked him in Love by Chance, but his character was super pervy.
I don't remember his character.
He played the roommate of Pete.
Oh, she's dating him?
Yeah.
Interesting. He had a great silver hair moment this summer, and I was like, ooh, you should keep that.
Yeah. But yeah, they're dating. They're cute too. They're really cute together. And she looks fantastic lately. Like, I don't know if it's just because she's like, I need people to see that I'm a woman, but she's been dressing in like the cutest summer dresses and everything else. She looks great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for her. I wish she would get a starring role.
I hope so too. Speaking of roles, I hope that she gets a bigger slice of the pie in The Space Between Us, which has anybody heard anything about when that's filming or airing?
I haven't heard anything about it in a while. I feel like I haven't seen even posts from them come up in a while.
Me neither. I know that the actors who played Win Team, they do a lot of CF work together and they do a lot of fan meets together. But outside of that, I feel like I haven't seen anything regarding the actual filming of the show.
Maybe it hasn't filmed yet for some reason.
Yeah, I wonder if it's Corona. I mean, everybody had kind of a spike in Corona cases towards the beginning of the fall. So maybe everybody's like trying to avoid filming right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I need it. Until We Meet Again is one of those shows that I look back on it and I'm like, I don't think I really appreciated this show as much as I should have while it was airing. But at the same time, if you were to ask me today what you would have asked me when that show was over, do I like Win Team more? I still like Win Team more. I still like Win Team more. And I think it's just because they seem like they were having more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. Also, they were crying all the time. You got to see them like smile and enjoy each other's company. Whereas like the main couple, they're just like ooh soft boys crying all the time. And it's like, y'all gotta pull it together a bit.
Right. And also like it doesn't hurt that one of them looks like Jimin from BTS and the other one looks like Il-hoon from B2B.
Formerly of B2B.
That's right. Woo! Il-hoon, what are you gonna do? For those of you who follow K-pop, you probably already know, but Il-hoon is not with B2B anymore because he likes the wacky tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a thing. It's so weird the fact that like he got caught because he was buying it using cryptocurrency. Like that's just so wild to me. Just use cash, people.
That's a weird scandal. I don't know. Maybe he'll score some good features if he puts himself out there. But
I hope so. I think other people have made comebacks from weed scandals. Like BI from Icon is about to come back, and he had a weed drug scandal. So, there's still a chance.
Mm-hmm. Man, poor Icon.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kingdom's gonna work out for them. I feel like it'll be like Pentagon, where it's like,
I don't know. I feel like the Korean public really, really likes B2B a lot. So I feel like the people who enjoyed B2B's music are not going to be off put by the fact that Il-hoon's not there anymore, because he wasn't a vocal, he was a rapper. And I think a lot of their songs really depended on their vocal line more.
They were a lot more like at least their popular songs are more ballady, which is why it's going to be hard to go up against Icon and when we do verses.
That's true. That's true. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Mason and I do verses with our friends.
It's so good.
It's so much fun, but like I always feel bad because I'm like, I don't know if this list is the list. Like up until the last minute, sometimes I'd be wanting to change stuff on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I lost so bad this past week. Like I knew I was gonna lose, but man, I didn't realize how many not Block B fans were in the room.
I was surprised too, because I hated everything on the other team. Which I feel bad about because I, want to try to like some of these groups, but I don't know. I don't think anything BAP ever did, like, I didn't like any of it.
You like the coffee shop song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some of their softer ones, but I don't like any of their like the title tracks. I liked one, but I forgot what it was. Oh well.
I don't know.
I was disappointed that you didn't do very good for Block B though. I was so sad.
I didn't do very good for Block B because I don't like Very Good or Jackpot. Those are two songs that I'm not big fans of.
I was like,
I know.
Those and Her, and I was like, ooh, those are the ones. And Toy.
Yeah. I don't know. I went a very weird route with my Block B playlist, but like I went back and listened to it and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep this in my pocket for like future use because I really enjoyed it.
It's a solid list.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But aren't you surprised that you won against IU?
Yes. So cool. I think that was the only like surprising win that I've had. I think my losses and wins after that were like justified.
Well, Tiara and Twice was tough because like you did better on Twitter than on YouTube, but I think on YouTube, generation wise, makes the big difference. I feel like more Tiara people are on Twitter probably than on YouTube.
Yeah. That was fun though. Like I just like sonically like the playlist together. They were good.
It almost felt like you guys had planned ahead of time what y'all were gonna do.
It matched up really well. Yeah.
Oh man, there were so many nostalgia points for Tiara. Like I was just listening to, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this time.
Yeah, they definitely have those songs where the moment you hear it, you're like, oh, it's this one. And you like know the dance, you know the lyrics,
Yeah. Good times. But yeah, we've done a few of those matchups. So if you go over to my Shout Out 360 channel and you go to my community tab, you can see all the matchups we've done. They've been really tough. Like we did Big Bang versus BTS. That was a big one. We did SNSD versus 2NE1. That was a big one. Like,
yes.
And quiet as it's kept, you guys getting the playlist is only half of the battle. The shit talking we do while we're in between songs is brutal.
It gets really mean sometimes.
I mean, good-natured mean, but yes, it does get pretty mean. I think the reason why we talk so much shit though is because like we know we're not necessarily going to win just based on the playlist, so we try to psych out the other person.
That's true. I also just think I've been paired up with Alex a lot the last 2 weeks, and he can bitch back good. So it's like it's fun to do with him.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm ganging up on Jade.
Yeah, Jade has a hard time with that. She knows it's in good fun. She just can't think of a comeback.
I felt so bad because when she was doing her BAP playlist and she did Feel So Good, I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of my car accident.
That was dirty.
I mentioned so. I wasn't lying. It really was that was actually the CD playing when my car got hit. And to this day, I don't listen to that anymore.
Well, you didn't lose much. It's a mediocre song.
that was one of the, I bought that CD at the time because BAP had their big comeback after they had left TS Entertainment. And I
Mhm,
wanted to support them, but I didn't want to buy a copy of Matrix because
mhm.
it was like expensive and it was member covers. So I'm like, okay, well, this song is not really for me anyway, but the next song they have that I like, I'll buy to support them because I want them to do well. And Feel So Good had like some decent B-sides too. So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy this. I'm playing it in the car. It's a little bit rainy. All of a sudden, I see a truck with a trailer attached to it sliding across several lanes of highway traffic. And it totally like swipes down the driver's side of my car. And if it had hit me any harder than it did, I would have fallen off of the overpass. So every time I think about that song, I'm just like, nope, no, ma'am, don't let me relive that memory. Because it was almost like that for the kid.
Damn.
Yeah. So I wasn't lying, but I also felt like that really brings down the mood.
It did, but it's
But
okay.
next week it's gonna be B2B versus Icon for the playlist battle, and then it's gonna be ATs versus Stray Kids, which not for nothing. I think that I'm gonna do bad with ATs only because like so much of their discography sounds like everything else in their discography that it makes it very difficult to like bring something new to the table.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope I do well, but this last album, I was disappointed with everything. I was disappointed with the packaging. I was disappointed with the songs. I just was like, the only good thing about this comeback is that Son has decided he's gonna live in half shirts. So every performance they do, he's always got a crop top on.
Oh, that was amazing with the pink hair. I loved it.
Yeah, well, all of their live stages, he's got on crop tops. Every single one of them.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, so you know.
He asked for that specifically.
He's
He
like, I
has to
just
have.
want my belly breathe.
That's
It's
pretty
not
funny.
quite summertime. I just need a little sliver.
Mm.
Mm. But yeah, good time. It's been a good time watching those stages, but a bad time with the actual album itself. And if ATEEZ doesn't start changing what they sound like, I might drop them in terms of collecting because I don't need 1,000 copies of the same 5 songs.
Yeah. I feel like they're a group that like I think they're gonna change their sound and we'll all be like, OMG, ATs again. And then we'll go back and be like, hey, some of these weren't that bad. I feel like it's the thing that is happening with Twice, where it got to a point where we were like, we're not too sure about Twice. And then with Fancy and Feel Special, everyone was like, hey, let's go check this out again. And people
Mhm.
were like rebuying some of their older stuff that they thought was better than they remembered it being.
I'm wondering for Twice if Twice is doing better sales wise internationally now than they were around like I would say the Heart Shaker era, but
Uh-huh.
they're losing more of their popularity at home.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening.
Because I mean the sales, I haven't seen the physical sales numbers, but I feel like the newer songs for Twice are more geared towards international audiences and they've embraced stuff like a lot.
Yeah, it was sad. Feel Special just didn't quite reach the public in Korea, I don't think.
Yeah. And then like nobody seemed to like I Can't Stop Me in Korea. And I'm just like, why? How do y'all like Blinding Lights, but you don't like this? Because Blinding Lights did well in Korea. Like, because Korea lets international songs chart. That song did well in Korea.
Did it?
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, you like 80s, but I guess you don't want to hear 80s in Korean? I don't know.
I don't know, but they weren't liking it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the weekend, the Grammys. Let us discuss because I told Stephanie I was confused by a judgment that you made regarding performances. Yes, ma'am. No. Okay. Stephanie was asking me if we're done recording. I'm like, no, I'm like literally doing it right now. So You had said when you guys were chatting on Twitter that you thought that Dua Lipa did a really good performance, but then I think it was either you or Alex, I'm not exactly sure, that thought that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion were phoning it in.
Yeah, wait, is that the wrong opinion?
I went back and looked at those performances and I'm like, okay, Dua Lipa is walking across the stage. She's not doing nearly as much as these two ladies are. Like they're scissoring on stage. That takes a lot of effort, especially when you're dragging a wagon.
I think the thing is, Dua, like, her bar for like her having a good dance it's like really low. So I think when they like this feels like they perfectly played to her skills and it worked and it was like stylish and fun. Whereas I feel like Cardi and Megan like had harder choreo, but they like just couldn't do the choreo. So it's like, I mean, yeah, props to you for having the harder choreo, but you didn't pull it off very well. And they looked like they were like counting steps at times. Yeah, but I like the aesthetic. The stripper shoe with the pole was awesome.
I thought the stage was nice for them. I thought Cardi did a really good job. I loved the screen that she had that was like a green screen at the beginning where she was doing up.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought that was really cool. I thought the scissor move was awesome. I at first was like,
good.
I was like, I can't believe they let y'all do this on national television, but alrighty. But
Yeah.
but I think that like for them, there's a couple of things that work against them. Number one, they're like trying to twerk in heels and also wearing like semi-robot costumes, which cannot be easy to dance in.
Yeah.
And then also like their songs are very fast-paced, so they're having to move almost for the entire song. They don't really get to like stand in place during the verses and then move during the chorus.
Yeah.
So like breath control wise, I think sometimes you kind of have to lower the energy in places in order to not get winded by the time you really need to throw your voice out there.
Right.
Yeah, but I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't see where Dua Lipa is tearing up the floor here. She is doing an aerobics cool down routine. What are we talking about?
But it was like glittery and gorgeous and it like worked for her and it worked for the song. Like the visuals and the dance really did match the song like perfectly. And she is just known for being such a bad dancer that when she did pretty good, we're like, whoa, Dua did good for once, guys. We should be happy, you know?
Oh man. But yeah, she did look good. But I mean, also Dua Lipa looks like a fucking model. Like she looks like Hailey Bieber and Kendall Jenner. She looks like she's them.
Yeah, I think she was a model before she did this.
Yeah, so like there's never a time when you're gonna get her on stage and she's not gonna look good unless like she's doing it intentionally. And even then it's like, but you're skinny and young, you're always gonna look good. Nah.
What does Dua Lipa even mean?
I don't know, because Stephanie said that she's Albanian. So maybe yeah, so maybe her name is an Albanian name and it is more common.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Performance that I really enjoyed watching when it was time to do the runbacks. I really loved watching Silk Sonic's stage. Even though their stage was so plain, I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for Bruno Mars to tour this fucking album.
It's gonna be good. Oh, it was a really good stage.
Yeah, it was. And I was telling Stephanie that her grandpa had that exact same suit in the 70s, but made out of leather. Like he literally had a brown 3-piece suit with bell bottoms made out of brown leather. It was ridiculous.
I like how we all said in our group chat that we weren't going to watch the Grammys, and then we all were in the group chat talking about the Grammys by the time Grammys were on.
I'm still good with that because like there would be times when I wouldn't be chatting because I was like reading fan fiction or watching YouTube videos or something. So like that was good for me. Also, like the winners for the evening were such shit that I'm like, I'm glad I'm not watching this because this would make me mad.
I just think it's funny that we said we weren't going to do it and then we like still kind of did it.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's more fun that way. Also because like we can never get our Zoom thing right. Like anytime we try to incorporate sound, as soon as one person starts talking, you're not going to hear anything. So Probably better off that way. But yeah, I didn't really watch a lot of it. I cut in here and there. I saw a little Twitter stuff, but I wasn't watching it. And also, like I said, I was just really disappointed with the winners, and not necessarily because of the whole BTS thing. Like,
Mhm.
yes, I was sad that BTS didn't win, only because I felt like the Grammys have been using their name so much to drive like web traffic and engagement and viewership and that kind of thing, that I'm like, the least you could do is throw them a fucking bone when you know what you're using them for. But Rain on Me is a really good song. So it's not like they lost to a bad song. They lost to a great song.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
bad that they lost, but I personally like Rain on Me more. But that's just because it's Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga, so I'm gonna like it.
You're like, they'll break down my door and take my gay card if I say I don't like it.
I'm like, you see this lighting? This is like someone that likes Rain on Me.
But yeah, I thought that it was unfair that they didn't get other nominations, and also the fact that like they pushed their performance towards the end of the night to get that engagement. And I'm like, you know what you're doing? You basically threw them a bone in order to get them to be a part of the telecast. You had no
Right.
intention of winning anything. And I feel like if that's the case, why wouldn't you have let the weekend be nominated for something? Because I feel like a song that's been on the top 10 for a full calendar year, there are people who are going to want to tune in to watch this man do it. He just got through doing the Super Bowl. Of course,
Right.
people are going to tune in and watch him. And he's not even going to just do Blinding Lights. He probably would have done a medley of the entire album if they had let him.
Hmm. Or he'd probably also do Save Your Tears because that's also charting.
Yeah, so he probably would have done In Your Eyes, Save Your Tears, and Blinding Lights, and done like a medley.
Speaking of missed out set list, Doja Cat should have performed Streets and Say So. I don't know why she didn't perform Streets.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't perform Streets because the Grammy people didn't want to hear Streets. Maybe like, we just want your greatest hits. That's all.
But Streets is like the current hit that is like going up and she just did a video for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't you trying to promote your current song? Cardi B did Up.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't feel like she can talk back to them. Meg Thee Stallion did Body. She didn't do
Right.
Crybaby. And Crybaby's the latest one that she's promoting right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the newer girls just are afraid to talk back.
Right.
Yeah. Also, unpopular opinion, I'm not exactly sure I agree with Meg winning Best New Artist. I like her as an artist. I've enjoyed her music a lot, but I feel like she's more hit and miss than some of the other people that were nominated for the award.
I think, I mean, I'm biased, but I think Doja Cat should have won. Just because I think Hot Pink was like, Hot Pink is kind of a masterpiece, in my opinion. There's like nothing, it's so good. Like, I don't think there's anything really wrong with that album. I feel like I respect every artistic choice she made.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I would have seen it for Doja Cat. I would have seen it for Phoebe Bridgers. I would have seen it even for Chica. And Chica's probably like the least known of all the people that were nominated, but
Mm-hmm.
she would have been interesting because she represents a very different kind of pop star in that she is um an overweight Black lesbian who is making really interesting singer songwriter rap music.
Oh, I've never heard of her. I'll have to go look her up.
She has a Tiny Desk concert, Chica,
Okay.
Chika. But she's very interesting. And so I think it would have been cool to see her get that award, only because it would have caused more people to want to talk to her, and it would have given her a much bigger platform to work with after the awards.
Right.
Yeah. And that's like, to me, that's what the Best New Artist is really for, is to like bring attention to somebody that maybe people are sleeping on. But
Mm-hmm.
also, like, the Best New Artist award is so fucking cursed that I kind of don't want anyone to ever win. Like, Alicia Cara won that award. What the fuck is she doing nowadays?
I forgot. I read about that. Like, someone was like, "Oh, other winners of this award were Alessia Cara and like Dua Lipa or something," and I was like, "Alessia Cara? It's been a minute since that name was heard."
Right. And like the music she put out has never been my bag. So I'm just like, yeah, this was probably meant to be even before she got this award. No shade to anybody who finds solace and comfort in Scars to Your Beautiful. The only song I ever liked by Alessia Cara was that song about like, I'm at the party and I want to go home.
I never listened to her stuff except for the Moana soundtrack.
Yeah, she did a song that was like basically her at a party complaining about how she doesn't like anybody there and she wants to go home. And I'm like, I can relate to this. I feel this all the time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's good. I guess Doja Cat didn't win then.
Yeah. But, you know, hopefully Megan will break the curse and she won't end up like some of the other people have. But yeah, it's just also glad that Beyonce is now the most awarded singer to win Grammys. There's still like one person who has more Grammys than her. It's like a composer or an arranger, and he's got like 31 Grammys. But she is the most awarded artist, like performing artist in the Grammy history. That won't last for long though. I'm saying this now. I love Beyonce. I really, really do. But Beyonce doesn't release albums that frequently, and the Recording Academy is obsessed with Taylor Swift. If she releases 4 more albums, she'll beat Beyonce.
For sure. Beyonce should get on it.
Yeah, well, you know, she's 40 with 3 kids. She's probably like, I'm busy.
Yeah, but I think the world wants it. Lemonade was so good. I feel like Lemonade was like felt like a slightly new turn for her in terms of like her artistic career. So it's like, oh, we're just interested to see what you have to do next.
Yes, it was. And that's why everybody was so mad when Beyonce didn't walk away with all those awards. The Grammys still need to get their ass whooped because Beyonce showed up to the Grammys pregnant with twins, heavy pregnant with twins, and did an entire stage performance for them and didn't walk away with, but I think maybe 1 award that night, if she walked away with anything.
I remember that performance, thinking it was magical.
Yeah. I remember that performance, and there was a moment where the chair like stopped, and I'm like, God damn, she's please don't fall.
Don't try Beyonce.
Could you imagine a pregnant Beyonce getting dropped on the Grammy stage?
I hope she'd be okay.
I would hope she'd be okay too, but like the show would have to be over. Everybody got up after like, I'm just praying for Beyonce right now. Thank you for this award, but is she okay?
Yeah. They cut the cameras.
Absolutely. You know what? I didn't even think about it. With Rain on Me winning, that means Ariana Grande won a Grammy last night.
Good for her.
Yeah, because she hasn't been winning on her own. Why do the Grammys not like Ariana Grande, but they're obsessed with Billie Eilish?
I don't know. I agree with Billie Eilish last year. I genuinely think Ariana Grande deserved Album of the Year for Thank You Next. I feel like that was like the album she cemented herself as not just like a pop star, not just as like the pop star of the moment, but like also an artist, you know?
I agree.
Like, it was the perfect blend of the two.
I agree. I thought Thank You Next of the 2 albums that she did that year, Thank You Next was the stronger one. I think it was the one that more made you feel like you know who Ariana is as a person. Mm-hmm. And also you got a glimpse at like how deep her musical repertoire is.
Right.
Even though she's always participated in her albums and she's always done writing and definitely was in charge of like the direction of some of her stuff, when you listen to Thank You Next, it very much is like, wow, she's really digging deep in her soul bag and her R&B bag to give us this album.
Yeah.
So I really think that she should have won. Billie Eilish is good. I'm not going to take anything away from that girl. She is good. Mm-hmm. But I sometimes feel like the reason why the Academy likes her so much is because it's full of like middle-aged, older people, and Billie Eilish's style sometimes veers towards the jazzy, and so they're like, this is what the young people should be listening to. This is what we want to come back in style.
Right. Maybe. I could see
Because
that.
otherwise, like, I don't know why she keeps winning so much stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's not bad, but I mean, she was up against Ariana Grande, and I feel like it should have been Ariana, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, Ariana Grande was dressed so well. It really just felt like her night. That gray gown she wore was really good.
There's a YouTube channel. It's a girl named Makara Tours. Mikara Tours. And she made that dress. Like, she ordered all the fabric and she made that dress after she saw Ariana Grande wear it at the Grammys.
Wow.
And it's like, I want to say it's something like 60 feet of tulle.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Yeah, it's very impressive. It's very impressive. I bet it was heavy. Like, even though it looked light, I bet it was heavy.
Oh, for sure. It was probably very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I hope she's happy with her fiance. I hope he treats her well.
Me too.
Yeah, she deserves happiness.
Yeah.
So, bringing it back around to Boys Love. For those of you who are not going to catch our Korean, if you've even stayed for this long, those of you who don't catch our Korean rundown when we finally do it again, one of the things that was a big part of our talking points was the fact that for me, it felt like the Korean Boys Love producers just went to like AO3 and snatched up all the tropes and said, we're making these into movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, question for you. What is a story or a trope that you love that you'd like to see turned into a Boys Love?
Hmm. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I think the ones I like are covered.
Mm.
What about you?
I want to see more rich man, poor man stories. Like, I think Tale of a Thousand Stars is kind of similar, but I want to see more of the rich man, poor man, and company takeover, family interference type stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like a story where this guy is the heir to a corporation and his family wants him to take over, so he can't do anything to damage his reputation because his uncle is trying to make his son the person who takes over the business. And so, a la Pretty Women, he has his car break down and this poor guy helps him to like fix his spare tire or whatever else. They form a friendship, soon a romance. But however, this poor guy is his weakness and can be used against him as he tries to take over the company for his family. Lots of corporate intrigue. And then we find out that the poor guy is the bastard son of the uncle. And that makes them related, but we'll just have to make that not too bad. But anyway, make it to where at some point or other, he's actually like secretly rich and he actually can help everybody out. And everybody thought he was poor, but he wasn't. I'd like to see something like that. And I'd like to see like a really cute coffee bar story. Like, I want a coffee prince, but a coffee prince where like the main character actually is a boy.
Okay.
Because I love coffee shop aesthetic and I can spend a whole series in the coffee shop.
Yeah, it'd be very nice.
Because like I really liked it when that was on Dark Blue Kiss. Every time they went to the coffee shop, I'm like, yes, let's stay here.
That was a really nice coffee shop.
So like I could totally like, you just take that whole storyline of like, I want to be the best in the coffee barista competition and just make that a series.
Yeah, that'd be good. I want two things as well. I thought of. I want like a cheesy vampire one. I want a vampire one where they're taking themselves a little too seriously, so it's like kind of campy fun, like an 80s, like a good 80s B horror movie where it's not that scary and they're trying, but like it just is a little campy, you know. I would love that. I think that'd be fun. And then I also want like a magician and his apprentice type thing, like a Howl and Sophie, but two boys.
That would be cool. I could definitely see that.
But I want it animated only because I don't want to see them try and do these effects. Because I don't want magic like, ooh, look at these cards. I want like ooh, potions and fire magic and stuff like that.
Mm.
So animated.
And I wouldn't mind for somebody to go for like gay canon Hogwarts.
They should.
Yeah. And we should like make a lot of trans characters and make them use every bathroom available. Just
Mm-hmm.
for some J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. Love that.
She's such a fucking disappointment.
I don't know why she did that, but
I don't know either. Like I honestly cannot think of a time in my life where I've ever been scared of a man of any form or a trans woman coming into the bathroom and doing something to me. I've never been scared of that.
Right.
Now I've been scared of catching cooties from being near bathroom toilet lids and like just being in a nasty gas station bathroom and being like, okay, this is how people get the coronas.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I've never been like in fear that, oh, I'm going to be in the bathroom and somebody's going to corner me in this bathroom and do something to me.
Right.
This just makes me wonder, like, what kind of world is J.K. Rowling living in, where she's constantly in fear of somebody taking advantage of her? Also, like, does she own a mirror? Because nobody wants that anymore.
Damn.
I'm just saying, maybe at one point in time, that was a real danger. Like, I'm just so beautiful that everyone wants to attack me. But at this point in the game, like, you look just like every other old bitch out here. Don't nobody want you. The person who's going to knock you over the head and drag you off is not the person who wants to rape you. It's the person who wants to hold you hostage for money because they know you're a fucking millionaire. And that could be anybody. But, you know, what can she do? I guess old people have to have something to obsess over in their old age. And that's what she chose. It's a weak choice, though. A weak choice.
It is a weak choice.
Speaking of movies and turfism, you watched I Care a Lot, right?
Yeah.
Did you get the idea or maybe a hint that the main character might have been a turf? Or that they tried to imply it somehow?
I didn't, but I guess I could be convinced.
Okay, so you know the scene where they go to the police station and it's the main character's girlfriend is like, hey, I need you to find out more about this guy or whatever. And the girl who works at the police station, like, okay, here you go, Frankie. And she's like, don't call me that. And she's like, well, you used to want to be called that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching Kinney's Bad Movies in a Beat that she did about I Care a Lot. And she was like, it's supposed to be kind of a satirical look at like white feminism. And I was like, okay, well, turfness has been a big part of white feminism. And the fact that the one character used to be called Frankie, in a way, without like super going into it, it kind of made me feel like at one point that person had a different gender identity, but then like swung back around. And I'm like, that would be clever if like not only is she an evil bitch, but she's also a turf. Because then she totally deserves to be shot.
Yeah. That adds a layer.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory. Okay.
But she was totally the worst. She was absolutely the worst. The ending was extremely satisfying.
Yeah, I think that's why I like that movie. Is like I had a good time and it ended. I thought it was the perfect ending. They join together and then she gets shot by the guy from the beginning. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And it was totally justified. He had every reason to do that. She deserved every bit of it. She probably deserved more. She probably deserved to have a lineup of people doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good movie. There's a lot of stuff I want to watch on Netflix, but I also don't want to watch anything on Netflix because I just hate sitting down to watch full movies. But I keep hearing about stuff that's coming up that I need to be catching. Like I've gotten into like true crime a lot recently, and I was told that I should watch a Mormon murder story, or like a murder amongst Mormons, I think is what it's called. And it's a true crime documentary about this guy who was selling fake artifacts to the Mormon church that were supposed to like prove that Mormonism was real. So like you watch the South Park episode about how the Mormon church came to be. Like the guy's like, I have these secret stones, and when I put my head in the hat, I can read the stones, and only I can read them because the Lord is talking to me, and like all that stuff. Well, this guy like forged a bunch of documents and artifacts to kind of fall in line with the Mormon story of like how their religion started. And somebody was going to catch him and like expose him for the fraudulent person that he is. So he like engineered a pipe bomb to blow this person up so that they wouldn't be able to tell the story.
That's
so
crazy.
It is crazy, and I kind of want to watch it because I love crazy shit.
So watch it.
Also because like Mormonism is weird to me. And this is nothing against Mormon people, but like I remember hearing about the fact that like most of the MLMs in America are based out of Utah, because like most of the people who own MLMs, like the heads of MLMs, are Mormon. Which is interesting because most MLMs are also scams.
What's an MLM?
It's a multi-level marketing company. So think like Mary Kay, Beachbody, those kind of companies. Where it's like, I can make money selling product, but I make even more money if I can get 2 of my friends to sell underneath me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically pyramid schemes.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still interesting. I love watching documentaries on Netflix, but like I've never picked the good ones. I always pick the ones that leave me feeling super sad. So that's why I kind of have stopped watching Netflix documentaries. Like I watched the one documentary about the little kid in California whose mom and her boyfriend murdered him. And like it was like the most horrific case of child abuse. Like they were shooting BBs at him, they were burning him, they had broken his teeth, they had broken all the bones in his hands. Like they had done so much to this little boy. And the worst part of it is that part of the reason they did that to him is because they thought he was gay. And he was like, I think 10, like he was a little boy. And his teachers had told the police and social workers that he was being abused, and multiple social workers told the little boy like, shut up or else we're going to take you out of this house. And police were like threatening him to like be quiet and obey your parents or we're going to arrest you. And so finally what happened is that I guess they had beat him to the point that he wasn't breathing anymore, so they had to call the police. And so when the ambulances showed up to take him to the hospital, at first they were like, okay, so this is a dead person. And then after trying to save his life for, I think about 2 or 3 days, he just didn't make it. And when the autopsy was performed, he had like hundreds of injuries, old and new.
Was like everyone involved sent to jail?
The mother and the father were. The social workers who ignored everything were let off.
I guess that's good, but not really.
I mean, it's good that the mother and the stepfather were sent to prison, but at the same time, I feel like the only justice is to let the rest of the community stand outside with BB guns and bats and beat them to death.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad type of evil.
Yeah. But hopefully, you know, because they are child murderers, they're spending every day in prison enjoying the camaraderie of their fellow prisoners and the outreach programs that fellow prisoners have formed for them. Hopefully they're having a good time. There's that one, and then there's another Netflix documentary about this weird story of this girl and her rapist. Now, I know this sounds bad already to begin with, but this girl, her family had neighbors move in, and the family and the neighbors became super close. And the father of the neighbor family said, I need to sleep with your daughter. Like, I need to like take naps with her and like go to bed with her because I'm going through therapy. And my therapist said this will really help me out. And the father and mother of this family were like, it sounds weird, but we'll go with it. Well, eventually he kidnaps the girl, takes her to Mexico, and then they're like, please bring her back, but we don't want to really tell the police anything. It turns out the reason why the parents weren't trying to tell the police about the weird situation going on is because both of the parents had been sleeping with this guy. Like the
Oh,
mom had been sleeping with the guy, and the dad had also like sucked off the guy. And so they didn't want to tell the police because he had told them, if you tell the police about me running away with your daughter, I'll tell everybody in the community about how you're both fucking me.
damn.
Yeah. I'm like, that is such a wild story. Like, at the end of the day, her and her parents are reconciled. The guy is dead. He was supposed to go to prison. He had a heart attack right before he went to prison. So, good job. But it's still like wild that as a parent, you'd be like, I could get my child back, or people can know that me and my spouse are freaks. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Netflix always has like wild documentaries like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I thought about you the other day when I was at Barnes and Nobles
Oh, why?
because I saw a book that was about the history of drag, but it was like a graphic novel, but it was also like a history book.
Was it like good art?
It was interesting art. It wasn't trying to be realistic. It was it was interesting. If I can find that title on Amazon, I'll send it to you. But I remember looking at it thinking like, I wonder if Mason would like this. But then I said, no, I'm not buying Mason any more books because the last books I sent were not good. And I'm afraid I'm going to send this and it's not going to be good.
What were the last books you sent that were not good?
The fencing books,
I said I like those. I
I
just don't
didn't.
think they haven't finished it yet, though. Like it's an ongoing series.
Yeah, but I was disappointed once you told me what they were like. I'm like, okay, you can't wait until 5 books in to finally give us some drama.
Well, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of LGBTQIA plus written books. Okay, so it seems to me like a lot of the most popular books in terms of like sales being turned into movies, stuff like that, are books about gay people written by straight cis people. How do you
Mhm.
feel about that?
Um, I think it depends. I think sometimes I'm like, okay, this is fine. Like I read it and I enjoyed it, and I didn't think it was like offensive or weird or fetishizing or anything.
Mhm.
And then sometimes you are like, maybe this is a little like some of these uh BL shows where it's like, this is not for the male gay. Like this isn't for gay men, it's for women.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we see the difference more in BL than we do like maybe in novels and those kinds of things. But definitely like in BL, Love by Chance season 2 was written by women for women.
Hmm.
Because I don't think any gay man could watch that show and be like, this is hot.
Yeah, it was not good.
No. And like also, whenever we watch the stories that seem to be written by gay men or gay men involved, they always seem like they're much better put together. Like I told Sunset about you. I think the director might be queer.
I could see that. It was very sensitive in a way
Mhm.
that was honest. So
Yeah,
like it felt very personal.
Same thing with Gaia saw Polycula.
Mm.
So I definitely feel like you can tell because they go past the surface and they give
Hmm.
you a little bit more. And I
Yeah.
kind of wish that like when women are doing BL, they would understand that like people we do like skinship. Skinship is cool. But we really like the emotional aspect as well. Like
Hmm.
feed me your emotions. I'll eat them.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mm. Well, we've been on for a while, guys. I hope we gave you something to watch. I know it's not our typical fare, and we kind of waffled in and out of all kinds of topics. But at the end of the day, you got to see a very cozy Mason, and you got to see a very not put together Samantha. So, you know, we're giving you the real, even if we're not giving you what you actually came for.
Right. Right.
Look at Mason. Isn't he adorable? Look how cute he is with his little pink hair and his little pink hoodie and his big glasses on. He's so small. He's so cute.
I don't like this.
He's
Also, you know that you said
adorable.
that, and like it's only, you know, because it's only one of us on screen at a time now.
You're so adorable. Look at
Please
you.
stop. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.